Jackson Cantwell, the number one overall in the industry, 6'7", 305-pound offensive tackle from Nixa, Missouri. Woo, he has come up with a top 6. Steve, how are you feeling right now about where things stand within that top 6?
Well, Jackson Cantwell was at the Next Ones event in New Orleans over the weekend. They invite 33 of the best players in the country, 32 from NFL cities, and then one that represents the world, all invited. So Jackson Cantwell there from Missouri representing I don't know. I think he was representing the Chiefs, but he was there. He recently released his top 6: Georgia, Miami, Michigan, Missouri, Ohio State, Oregon. Our Shea Dixon caught up with him. He wants to be committed before his senior season. Said to Shea, I wish I had a leader because that would make this so much easier, wouldn't it? But that's the problem. Everyone's doing something well in his recruitment. He's going to take some spring practice visits. He's going to take some officials. Georgia, he's been there 5 times. No question, the Bulldogs are one of the front runners. I think there's some confidence around Athens that they can land Jackson Cantwell, but it's not going to be easy. Oregon is certainly a very intriguing program. He's only been there once, but Dan Lanning being from Missouri, that connection makes the family feel comfortable with Oregon and that coaching staff. Coach Alik Terry has done a good job recruiting Jackson Cantwell, the offensive line coach. What Oregon offers on the football field and as a track program, the big track meets in Eugene. Jackson Cantwell is obviously perhaps the best 2-sport athlete in this class with what he can do in the shot put and discus. So Georgia and Oregon, those are programs in great position. A visit to Michigan in December thrusted the Wolverines up his list. They're certainly a dark horse. He wants to get back there. He's been to Missouri 6 times. His dad went to Missouri. His dad's in the Missouri Hall of Fame for what he's done in track and field. And he's been to Missouri countless times. So certainly they're all in and sometimes tough to beat for in-state products. And then Ohio State, there's been a lot of change on that staff, so he looks forward to seeing what happens there. And then Miami went on a game visit in the fall, looks forward to getting back to Coral Gables. He says he's going to take 5 official visits. Georgia and Oregon are the programs that I think are best positioned. Michigan making a move on them, and then certainly Missouri, Ohio State, and Miami. He's got a keen eye on all 6 at this point in his process.
I look at Missouri as kind of the wild card, not the sleeper, but the wild card. I just wonder, do you think Mizzou learned anything from the process of recruiting and signing Williams-Nwaneri, who they clearly dropped a bag on to come there? He goes for 1 season, records 2 tackles, takes all that NIL money, and goes to Nebraska. Do you think that that has impacted their experience with recruiting the number 1 player in their state?
No, because Missouri also won a slobber knocker on the recruiting trail in Luther Burden, keeping him away from Georgia, keeping him in state. He had a fantastic career. Missouri has had a great 2-year run under Coach Drinkwitz and company. They have a top 20 recruiting class coming in. The Tigers don't plan on going anywhere. Coach Drinkwitz and company building it up, wants to get this program into the college football playoff. Jackson Cantwell's last visit was to Missouri for a basketball game. He loves the offensive line coach there. Again, loves the trajectory of the program, the way they've been competitive in the SEC. And Williams-Nwaneri was an interesting situation because his high school coach, Isaiah Mosey, is now at Nebraska, which certainly added to the comfort level with the Huskers, with Williams-Nwaneri going in the portal and all of that. So they're going to go all in on Jackson Cantwell. He's one of the most ballyhooed prospects in the country this cycle, the number 1 player in the state of Missouri. Sometimes guys don't live up to their rankings, but Jackson Cantwell, his profile as an athlete, his family's profile as athletes, the way he carries himself, high IQ as well. You're all in on Jackson Cantwell. I would imagine fiscally Missouri would do whatever is asked here. Okay. But Jackson Cantwell, I talked to him about NIL at Under Armour. He's represented by Rosenhaus. They said, look, you narrow this down to the places you're most comfortable with, and then they'll come in and handle the NIL stuff for him as his agency. So he's picking a school look, he knows he has a value, but he's still looking for a place that's going to develop him as a football player, where he's going to have a great college experience, play with like-minded dudes, maybe a place where he can throw the shot put as far as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Also, find the places you like the most. So that's what he's doing right now. And so that's what Missouri's battling right now. I think they would come correct financially, but I don't know if Jackson Cantwell is just going to pick the school that offers him the most money of the 6. I think they'll all be in the same ballpark.
Right.
But I think you're going to have to pay a lot of money to get him, which he has his value and he's worth that. But within that framework, he wants to go somewhere where he loves the offensive line coach, loves them as a traditional run team, teams that have success year in and year out with their offensive line as a whole, where they get drafted. He wants to maximize his potential as a player. He wants 2-3 contracts on Sunday. And to get there, you need great development from the time you're 18 and 22 years old.
All right. Well, we got a little bit more time to go on Jackson Cantwell. You guys can do the science in the comments section. Let us know where you think he's going.